of us who are willing to support these soul plans right here, the search for truth, central axis, all others flung away. And again, I see a lot of people trying to insert false papers.
That's true.
So we have to delineate what this soul plan right here is.
That's true.
This soul plan is to manifest the divine plan, modified to say, for the smaller subatomic.
That's true.
No matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. And what we mean by the smaller subatomic is subatomic layers that are smaller than the layers in which we are experiencing sentience.
That's true.
Well, it has to be actually at least in this dense a dimension.
That's true.
But we can't just say physical dimension, because all those presences think they're in the physical dimension and they
That's
are not
true.
quite clearly, and we may not be either. I don't know.
That's true.
I think I'm in the physical, but so do they.
But so do they. That's true.
So we can say the denser dimensions
That's
and the
true.
smaller subatomic dimensions. We can
That's
say
true.
that. All right, let's start there. This soul plan is to manifest the divine plan for dimensions denser than the dimension in which we're experiencing sentience.
That's true.
And dimensions that are smaller subatomically than the dimension in which we are experiencing sentience, and to do that no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do.
That's
That
true.
is the soul plan. Now, all of us who are willing to support that soul plan to the search for truth, central axis, all others flung away. Oh, now it gets very quiet.
That's true.
Manifest the divine plan for they don't want me to say it, but
That's
I'm
true.
not going to stop. Manifest the divine plan for dimensions that are denser than this one, and for dimensions that are smaller subatomically than this one, and to do that no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, to manifest that divine plan, to live that soul plan. The arguing continues. They're continuing to argue, well, does that mean this? Does that mean that? Does that mean the other? Assume that it means to work without personal benefit.
That's
Because
true.
one of the characteristics that's a requirement for the job is selflessness. Assume
true.
that it means to work at great personal cost and for no personal benefit.
That's true.
Take that as your working theory. They're still arguing.
That's true.
We will now close. We're done. We're not going to give you any more airtime. You're
That's
just
true.
arguing forever. You want to argue, we're going to burn.
That's true.
Crush, burn, and close. And crushing and razor
Crushing.
screening. We're bush hogging this pillar right now.
That's true.
Especially from the shoulders up. That's where it's thickest and worst.
That's true.
This person who is simply refusing to acknowledge inconvenient realities and
That's
keeps
true.
giving us assignments that are impossible given the resources that we have
That's true.
with which to meet the assignments. Those are impossible assignments, and we keep pointing that out and saying, well, that's all well and good, but that doesn't fit the resources that are available.
That's true.
And he's not shutting up.
No. Still going on.
It's
Banging
still going
fist
on.
the table.
Yes, bang fist on the table.
You
It's-
must listen to me.
Yes, well, you have to send the resources for that assignment. You can't just keep handing out assignments. You understand that we haven't been paid for this work in 2 years and 4 months,
That's true.
right? You understand that, right? We haven't been paid in 2 years and 4 months. Think about that. We haven't been paid in 2 years and 4 months.
Very angry that we would bring that up, and it feels like, how classless of you to bring up something vulgar and gauche like money.
Right? Okay. Well, what you're saying is hire our tree guys to trim all this stuff, and they are going to bring up something vulgar and gauche like money when
That's true.
they will want to be paid and they will deserve to be paid.
That's true.
And so you're saying you need to have all these branches trimmed, and we definitely agree with you that that is a need. But you're pointing out $2,000 worth of tree work, and we don't have $2,000.
That's true.
So what would you suggest?
I don't hear him right now.
No, now he's gone away.
That's
Good.
true. Wrapping the work. And saying to the closing processes, first, assume you're going to stop too soon 100 times, And then that's out of the way. Just assume you're going to stop too soon 100 times. And then the way to test it is when you stop, ask the presences to raise the vibrations and watch what happens if the vibrations raise in the smaller subatomic or not. They don't like this. The closing processes don't like this, and I hear lots of them arguing up and down the pillar. It sounds like birds squawking. They're saying, but if we hold them to high standards, then we'll never get to a consistent source of significantly higher vibrations.
You will, though. If you stop too soon, you won't ever get to a consistent source of significantly higher vibrations. That's what you're doing, is stopping too soon, and you won't ever get there at this rate. I agree with you. But as soon as you stop stopping and actually just keep going, don't stop, keep going, you'll hit a rhythm, and then you'll escape the gravitational attraction of the contaminated zone. You'll be into clear space, and then sooner than you, I don't know, it depends on many choices, but it's possible to then enter the gravitational attraction of what actually is a consistent source of significantly higher vibration, and that's what we're going for. There are 2 squirrels that are hanging at the tips of crepe myrtle branches about a foot off the rooftop, one about a foot from the edge of the roof and one another 4 or 5 feet toward the solar panels.
That's true.
And they've frozen, and now they're hanging upside down still.
That's true.
You see that, right?
I see that.
That's pretty significant.
That's true.
Wrong direction, friends. Go up. Go up. That's what the closing processes are doing. You see that, right?
I see it.
You're only about a foot off the roof. You think you've gone way up high, and maybe you have, but that branch has bent back down, and you're literally maybe 6 inches, 12 inches at most from the roof.
That's true.
You're not where you think you are. This used to happen to Luce all the time. You're not where you think you are. That's what it is. You guys think you're much higher than you are. You aren't. You're only about a foot off the roof.
That's true.
Look.
That's
see? That's what that is. Look. The message is to the presences who think they're so much higher than they are, and they got there, but then the branch bent down.
That's true.
You aren't where you think you are any more than Luce was all those many times.
That's true. Waving letters for a minute.
Why, that's a way to get a bunch of them to quit.
That's true.
Now look at them, they're just all quitting. They're going, well, this is grumble. This is impossible. How could they possibly ask me to do this? My problems are the worst.
My problems are the worst problems, and I don't want to be taken advantage of.
How can they possibly? That's what that feeling is. How am I exactly like this?
Exactly like that. Asking for the grade.
Well, we see the flowers of the night blooming cirrus also are hanging down.
That's true.
They've gone up and are coming down.
That's true.
These are strong messages to the closing process that have gone up and now are hanging down. And they don't realize it. Well, now we're pointing it out to them. It's hard for them to not realize it. It's actually right there in front of you. And now the question is, are you willing to acknowledge an inconvenient reality? Assume 0.001% will.
That's true.
At most.
That's true.
1/1000th of a percent.